Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about two different products I have here. I have been in the market for a smartwatch for a while and I decided to wait until this year to actually pull the trigger. I couldn't make the decision between the Apple Watch and the Garmin Fenix, so I got both of them to test them out and then inevitably returned the one which I thought was the least useful for me. I had really high hopes for the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus. This watch, um, man, it is built beautifully. I think it could take a beating that no other watch on planet Earth could handle. It has a sapphire display, so it's extremely scratch resistant, unlike my Apple Watch here, which has, I think it's ion glass. You can get a sapphire display Apple Watch, but you'll be paying quite a bit more for it. But I bought this because I come from a background in triathlon and running. I do lots and lots of cycling as well as a lot of hiking. And I thought that this watch was going to be my one-stop shop. I did not think that the Apple Watch would be able to collect and measure the data the way I wanted it to, as well as, get me through longer hikes. Some hikes I've gone on before have lasted me 10 to 15 hours in duration. And I know that the Apple Watch, even the Series 4, which is the one I have here, that only has about a 6-hour battery life when the GPS is activated, whereas this one has around 11 or 12, I think, with the GPS. It also has a built-in altimeter, as you can see here right in the top. That's the barometer, and that's the heart rate. You can get, an altitude app. This does have a built-in barometer and altimeter as well in it, but for whatever reason, Apple doesn't include it into their own iOS, a way to actually and easily access that information. But third-party apps are out there that do tell you that info in case that's something you're interested in. But what really shocked me was an experiment that I did today about the heart rate and measuring the heart rate. I took my Wahoo Ticker X Bluetooth heart rate monitor and I paired it up to the Apple Watch and then put the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus on my wrist and did hill repeats over a quarter-mile distance hill. And what I found was really disappointing. Most of the time, the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus could not measure my heart rate fast enough to give me an accurate measurement. It was incredibly delayed going up the hill, so much so that there were sprints that I did up that hill and finished before this watch actually measured my heart rate. It stayed at the same exact number, which was anywhere between 60 and 90 beats per minute, which is usually right around where I'm resting or resting after I do an activity. And I just could not believe that. I feel like, for the price, we're talking $850 to $900. This should be flawless and should be able to, without question, measure your heart rate instantaneously. Now, to compare these two watches, I then paired the Wahoo Ticker X to the Garmin Fenix 5 and used the optical sensor on the back of the Apple Watch Series 4. And I did not want to like the Apple Watch. I have an iPhone. I do love it, but I'm not an Apple fanboy. I really want to have some options, and I know that this can track so many other activities, including triathlon, which is why I picked it up. But in the end, I was astonished by how accurate the heart rate monitor on the back of the Apple Watch Series 4 is. When I say it was a one-to-one match to what my Bluetooth chest strap was, I mean it. There was not a beat that this thing was off the Apple Watch Series 4. Not a single beat. It paired up with this phone, with this watch, and it didn't ever mess up. It was instantaneous with the readout, and it was accurate every single time. This was inconsistent with the readout. There was constant lag. It never, ever caught up until I was, halfway through that sprint. And then sometimes when I ended the sprint, the heart rate would be elevated and it would take another minute or two for it to go back down to my resting heart rate levels. And I just don't think that's acceptable. I don't know what Garmin is doing with their tech in this, but The Apple Watch Series 4 has a far superior heart rate monitor, and that should really be the foundation of these watches at this point. I want accurate data. I want to make sure that, my heart rate can be tracked consistently. And this watch was an utter failure in that respect. And at that price point of $850, I would not recommend anybody pick up the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus. This has all the latest updated software. If you have an external heart rate monitor, it works perfectly. There's no difference. Like I said, it pairs perfectly, it reads perfectly. But again, what astonishes me is the optical sensor on the Apple Watch Series 4 matches what the heart rate monitor displays on the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus. When I pair it up, I still can't believe that, but I'm so disappointed. I'm going to be returning this. I really wanted to love this, and the investment is just far too great to not have an item that is utterly perfect, especially in that category. I would say it could be argued that it's almost useless unless you have an external heart rate monitor to pair up with it, whereas with the Apple Watch Series 4, it works flawlessly every single time. The other thing that I think is worth mentioning if you're looking to get into this for the sport of triathlon is this heart rate monitor actually shuts off when you're swimming. The Apple Watch stays on, and although the water might disrupt its ability to read your heart rate accurately, you still have the option to have it on. And we're talking 6 hours of GPS time, so you're going to be able to do some longer swims with this for sure, and hopefully get a relatively accurate reading on your heart rate. If it's anything like what I got when I was running and cycling, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. But I just wanted to post this so people can know, because it's really, really disappointing and quite shocking. And I hope there are future iterations of the Garmin, Fenix series that do a much better job at this. I do know that Apple got the ECG readout approved by the FDA, and I know that's tied to the heart rate monitor. Garmin did not get their heart rate, from what I know, approved by the FDA, their heart rate monitor. So I think that is a new gold standard that I really only believe Apple can take pride in having. So I think that's a huge reason why it outperforms this particular watch. But I hope they catch up, because in the future it would be a product I would likely consider if they were able to do that. I would not want to spend $850 to $900 on a watch and then another $100 to $150 on an external heart rate monitor. At that price point, I want everything in this product. I don't want to even think about needing anything else besides headphones. It's just absurd. So I would not recommend the Garmin Fenix 5X Plus to anybody for that reason. I would recommend the Apple Series 4 watch if you have an iPhone. All right, guys, I hope this helps you out. Take care.